ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਿਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਮੂਹ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਲਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਨਿੱਘੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਦਿਲ ਦੀਆਂ ਗਹਿਰਾਈਆਂ 'ਚ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਸ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਸਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਹੈ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ। ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਮੇਅਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੋਣਾਂ 17 ਅਕਤੂਬਰ 2026 ਨੂੰ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 7 ਟੀਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਮੇਅਰਲ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਖੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟੀਮ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਲੇਟ ਦੇ ਮੇਅਰਲ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਲੀਨ ਹਾਰਡਵਿਕ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਚਾਰਲਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਿਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਆਓ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੇਅਰਲ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਕੋਲੀਨ ਹਾਰਡਵਿਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਕੋਲੀਨ, ਫਸਟ ਆਫ ਆਲ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਫॉर ਜੁਆਇਨਿੰਗ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ। ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, Colleen, a little bit about you, because people want to know who is the mayor coming for the Vancouver, because one of the biggest city in British Columbia. Can you tell me about yourself a little bit, how much you are involved with city of Vancouver?
Well, I was born and raised in Vancouver.
Okay.
Educated at UBC in geography and political science and urban planning.
Wonderful.
Where my father taught. And I was 10 years old when my father was first elected to city council.
Okay.
So I grew up around the city and its operations. I'm a mother and a grandmother now of two 7- and 5-year-olds. And I am very committed to the future of the city.
And okay, now your team is coming, because I think so there are 17 so far for the mayoral candidates. But at the end of the day, you know what happened. A lot of people will drop off and some people have a different way. So what is the agenda? What is the purpose to being increase the team? What is your agenda of your team?
Ultimately, to ensure that our children and grandchildren can continue to afford to live in Vancouver. And to accomplish that, we have to recover our balance as a city.
Okay.
And when I talk about balance, that's about livability. And balance is balance between housing, infrastructure, community amenities, economic opportunity, and ultimately affordability, because if we can't afford to live here, what's the point?
Yeah, it's getting hard day by day. It's very hard.
Absolutely.
Day by day. So that's why your party is planning to create these kind of differences, whatever you have seen it. So why you think your team agenda is different than other parties?
Well, we're fundamentally focused on residents and neighborhoods.
Okay.
Over the last number of years, we've seen centralized control at City Hall, which is imposing its will on the citizens of the city, as opposed to listening to them. And Vancouver, which was recognized as the poster child for the livable city, has lost that as we've lost our focus on achieving balance.
Yeah.
And it's all been about promoting growth for the profit of the property development industry. And we failed to diversify our economy. We need to create new jobs and opportunities for future generations.
So that's why, because there are a lot of things right now. The local government is trying to improve whatever difficulties are for the citizen of Vancouver. And now, what do you think, what they failed to deliver it and your party will deliver it?
Well, they failed to deliver on local democracy, for one thing. What we're seeing is that public hearings have become a charade. There is no genuine public input for changes that are being imposed on their neighborhoods where they live. And team believes that residents matter, and it's important to have planning that is grassroots or ground up, as opposed to top down and imposed on people. That is at the core of what differentiates team from the other parties.
Okay, so that's why you're trying your best with your party that you will do something different. Whatever they cannot do it, your party will do it.
Absolutely.
Wow. So just like team is the only what you call civic party committed to the repeal and rewriting the official what you call development plan ODP
That's correct.
for the Vancouver. So can you explain your position on this one, please?
Yes, the ODP, or Official Development Plan, was developed and imposed on the people of Vancouver. They've treated the city like it was a blank canvas rather than a city that is a network or a tapestry of neighborhood plans. If you go back to the 1990s, the 1990s, the city undertook something called the city plan process, and they involved 100,000 residents in determining what the future plans for the city would be.
Okay.
But that all changed after 2008, where we saw a real shift again to top-down planning as opposed to grassroots planning. And the ODP, the Vancouver plan, these other plans like the Broadway plan, the Rupert and Renfrew plan, the Jericho Lands plan, these are all what I call top-down, autocratic. We're imposing this plan on you without reflecting the nuance of neighborhoods, the character and the needs of the residents.
Okay, so that's why team official want to rewrite that plan. That's your plan actually?
We want to restore neighborhood planning. It seems like it should be an obvious thing that we elect our mayor and council to represent our residents, and yet they're not. They have not been acting in the best interests of our residents. And so that's why TEAM believes that restoring neighborhood planning, and that includes reestablishing neighborhood planning offices that we used to have, need to be brought back so that Vancouver can recover its reputation as a truly livable city.
Okay, so how you will implement that one? Because team plan, you have wonderful team as a mayor candidate, because you have experience to working in the city. For how long you worked with the city?
I served on city council for 4 years, from 2018 to 2022.
Okay.
But as I described earlier, I had the academic background. My father taught urban geography at UBC for 37 years, so I like to joke that I grew up with urban land economics at the dinner table.
Wow.
So I know what I'm talking about, and the people that we have gathered as candidates for TEAM are very knowledgeable and capable people. For example, we have Josh Gordon, who had been teaching at Simon Fraser University and is now working at Statistics Canada and specializes in housing policy.
Okay.
So the idea is that TEAM is putting together a group of people that have subject matter expertise that they can be applying to the city. And that's important. I make the joke sometimes that one has to have first read the lines before you can read between them. And if you're just learning to read, you're in no position to be making complex decisions. So TEAM has people that have that complex knowledge and will be able to work in the best interest of our residents.
So as per your experience and your whole team, they will try their best to improve all those things. And when Kensin, he was asking to get rid of Vancouver Park Board. What is your intake on that one?
Well, we support the continuing existence of the Vancouver Park Board, and let me tell you why. The most important thing is that the Park Board has control over park land, not the city. And it preserves the parkland and would never sell it off. Whereas if the parkland was to land into the city's real estate department, it would then be subject to what they call disposition of land. And we want to preserve our parkland because once it's gone, we can never get it back again.
Okay. So when you will be the mayor for city of Vancouver, you don't want to get rid of that park board?
Absolutely not. It's existential.
Wow. And because when we are talking, your another partner, Charles, is here too. So we'll talk with the Charles too. Few of the questions I was thinking because when we talk about the Vancouver geographical area, more than 52% people don't speak English. Because diversity, a lot of different culture, a lot of different people here. What is your intake in your own slate? Are you getting other people from the other community too, or just your this slate?
No, we are endeavoring to have candidates that are geographically distributed
Yes.
around the city,
Yeah.
gender balanced and racially diverse. And we do have candidates who are Chinese that are both Mandarin and Cantonese speaker. And we also have a Sikh candidate who will be endorsed on Monday.
Especially, I have seen always, because Sanjha TV is the one who covers all the events in Vancouver, especially the Vaisakhi parade. We are always there. And we are looking for who is the mayor? Where's the mayor gone? So naturally, we wish that you will be there next Vaisakhi parade and your whole team will be there.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of Punjabi community, Sikh community, Indian community is there. Because a lot of community has a businesses over there. So that's a wonderful. I think so that's really nice. At the last, what you would like to say, the voters of Vancouver, what is the message for them? Get there.
Do you see a future in Vancouver where your children and grandchildren can continue to live? To me, as a mother and grandmother, that's the most important thing. Right now, my daughter, her family are living in our basement suite, for example. There's a lot of people that are living intergenerationally in their homes and just trying to hang on to be able to afford to live here. And I am personally pledged to doing everything within my ability to ensure that they will continue to be able to live here.
Especially Ken Sim was talking about increasing the property tax. I think so it was almost for last 3 years, 23% was increased. Now the freezes. What is your intake on that one?
Well, at the last minute, in the year leading up to the election, he came up with the slogan, zero means zero in terms of property taxes. But as you point out, over the prior 3 years, they raised it by 23%.
23%.
So it's a bit of an illusion. The most important thing is that we should be tying property taxes to the rate of inflation. The rate of inflation is normally about 2%. People can absorb that kind of incremental increase, but when you start to get into double digits, what they call galloping inflation, people can't afford it. So the city needs to live within its means, and this has been a problem for a number of years. We saw empire building of a lot of staff increases. We saw the city getting into areas that are outside of the scope of municipal jurisdiction. So team is committed to recovering our balance, and that balance is at least largely in the budget.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming here and good luck, and we'll be in touch with you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. ਹੁਣੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੋਲੀਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਦੇ ਮੇਅਰਲ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨੇ ਟੀਮ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿਸਤਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਸੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਚਾਰਲਸ ਕੈਲੀ ਬੜਾ ਲੰਮਾ ਤਜਰਬਾ ਹੈ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ Mr. Charles, thanks for coming to Sanjha TV. Welcome, Sat Sri Akal.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about yourself a little bit, because all the viewers are watching you right now? About yourself.
A little bit about myself. Well, I've spent most of my career, somewhere between the confluence of of government and business. Okay. And I've been on both sides of the table. I've been a public servant. I've worked in the Department of Finance, and I've worked for the Minister of Housing. And I've also, was brought back into government after 25 years in business, to be the Commissioner General for the World Urban Forum on Sustainable Cities. So I was an international diplomat for about 3 years. And then back into business. But I ran a national management consulting company, and I've also had a real estate development company, and now I have a mortgage investment company. Wow. So I have a broad career in business.
So you are the money guy. You know how to control the money and how to spend the money. So you are the guy actually for the city of Vancouver.
I hope to be. That would be my plan. I think it's very important that we have people that have been a participant in the real estate development industry, and I have those qualifications, and who understands strategic direction. And when you run a large corporation, which I've done, the role of the leader is to provide the strategic direction, and that's what's been sadly missing in our current council.
So how you will handle that? Because team foremost position is a community-based and party, especially approaching the planning and development. How you will handle those ones?
Well, from the planning and development point of view, what we really need is the participation of citizens and residents, and that's sadly missing. And so essentially the power has been transferred to the bureaucracy. And it was a bizarre statement of I don't know if you've been following this villages plan that the mayor brought forward, that he was really behind. He spent 3 years promoting and directing his officials to come up with this villages plan. And then after, he got a massive pushback from the citizens, and he turned around and said, well, it was the bureaucrats, overreach by bureaucrats. Well, the overreach was Ken Sim and this council. And that's just a lack of leadership, and that's what happens when you operate in secret.
There was a time when you and me, we bought our own house with our hard working. But these days, it's very hard to afford the houses. For the next future generation, what is City of Vancouver going to work out on those things to get affordable residence?
Well, it's a massive problem, and it's not unique to Vancouver, but
all over the Canada. Right?
It's every major city. Well, there are some prairie towns and places where they don't have. But if you're a major city, there's been it's problematic whether it's Toronto or Calgary or here, But what we really need to focus on is that what they call below market rental as an opportunity for raising a family is not affordable to anybody earning an average income. And part of the real difficulty here is the people who can't live in the city, who work in the city, and I put a special attention on firemen and policemen and teachers and people and nurses that are providing really critical services, and that they have to drive an hour to get to work and an hour to get back is just unreasonable.
Okay, but there's another thing. Recently there was a FIFA World Cup. A friend of mine came from Denmark, and he really wanted to see the Vancouver. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he was walking by East Hastings and Main area, and he said, Kuldeep, you said it's a beautiful city, beautiful country. Is it Vancouver? People are having, residents on the streets. Give a really bad impression to the foreigners. Other people are coming here, and especially cruises are coming at the waterfront. Give a really bad impression. If your party is coming in the power, what you will do on those ones?
Well, it's a complex problem, and there isn't any one solution. I think what we really need to address is there's definitely a drug addiction problem.
Yes,
and that needs to be, and even that is complex with, from a treatment and from a health perspective, and when it comes to treatment and the health, a lot of this is a provincial responsibility. So we can work in collaboration in terms of the police department is a part of our responsibility. And there's a lot of emergency response that goes on with the fire departments and things. But this is a broader problem of mental health. We had the government's decided many years ago to close down treatment for mentally ill people, and they were just thrown out on the streets. So what we need to do is take a look at addressing the homelessness. You know, we need to provide shelters.
Shelters, that's the main thing. If you don't have a shelter, where they will go?
They need
have to come back again.
They need a place to have to sleep, to shower, and to cook a meal, and you know, and get their lives back on track. You're not going to get your life back on track living on the street. So that's, you know, that's a priority. I think that there's you know, going back to the broader issue of affordability.
Yeah.
You know, the city does have some land for development, and that land should be made available for nonprofit and co-op housing. And you know, because we have to bring the rents down to an affordable level. And the current rents, and even what they call below market rent, is not affordable for you know, a teacher or for a nurse, or you know, somebody who wants to provide real services here. So, but it's, you know, there's no question it's a challenge. But you need to, you know, what you don't do is you don't, you know, do gimmicks. You know, you roll up your sleeves, you work with the other levels of government,
Yeah,
you work with the community, and indeed you must work with the people who are severely disadvantaged.
But when you're talking about provincial, all those ministers are coming here for the interview. When we talk about this issue, they're silent. Oh, we are working on it, we are working on it. I mean, your team, because they have a vision, team has a vision.
Yes.
They really want to bring a lot of improvement, especially the property tax, all other stuff, because you are a finance guy, you know how to control all those things. Even Colleen was explaining all those things, that how she will do it. What is the message to Vancouver voters, why they should vote for you?
Well, fortunately, inside of Team, you know, we've reached out to the former head of the Residents Association of the Downtown East Side, someone who's been a leader. You know, somebody who currently lives in subsidized housing and has worked in this community her whole life. So we bring to the executive table, you know, people with real life experience that can talk to their neighbors and friends who currently live in the downtown east side and address these issues in a important way. Yeah, but what we haven't seen, and this is be quite unique, I think, is in terms of a team government, is to have somebody who is a leader in the downtown east side, who lives there and is a part of this, that can provide, you know, advice and direction, because you know, not all of us, you know, have, you know, direct personal experience with the lives of people that are, you know, living in severely disadvantaged states.
As you have a financial expertise in your life, and Colleen, she's working with the city, she knows in and out every single thing, what are the problems for the city, and I hope everything will be solved, because there are a lot of questions people are asking before vote. So I think so you clarify everything, and Colleen, she clear everything too, especially about the Vancouver Park Board.
Yes.
A lot of people are thinking, my goodness, they want to get rid of that one.
Yep.
So thank you for your time, and because you came here, and we'll be talking in the near future too. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
ਇਹ ਸਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚਾਰਲਸ ਕੈਲੀ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਨੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਟੀਮ ਦਾ ਏਜੰਡਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਸੀ, ਅਸਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂ ਲੋਕ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਉਣ, ਤੇ ਟੀਮ ਅਫੀਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਇਹ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ODP ਨੂੰ ਰੱਦ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਵਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਾਰਕ ਬੋਰਡ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਖਤਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਟੀ ਟੈਕਸ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਸੁਣਿਆ, ਲੰਮਾ ਤਜਰਬਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ, ਬਚਪਨ ਤੋਂ ਇਸ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਭਾਵਨਾਵਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਸੰਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਫੈਸਲਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਮਾਪਤ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਦਿਓ ਆਗਿਆ। 6 ਵਜੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਟਾਈਮ ਅਰਸ਼ ਕੌਰ ਬੱਟੂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਣਗੇ। 9 ਵਜੇ ਸੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਰਿਪੀਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇਖਣ, ਲਾਈਕ ਤੇ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੀ।